All right, shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off first and foremost by giving all praises going honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Chafadash. Double honor to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule and teach well. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to those that are doing this work in truth and in sincerity. This is your brother Nathan Yalla from the GMS Camp Atlanta, coming back at you through the Spirit with another lesson. And I pray and hope this lesson is edifying. Now, this particular lesson, this is going to be my fourth time attempting to do this lesson. I did it on Friday. I think it's the 15th, right? I think Friday was the 15th. Just check. Yeah, so Friday was the 15th. And so I did this video. The first time I did it, the screen didn't record. The second time I did it, the sound didn't record. And the third time I did it, it just didn't record at all. So I'm attempting to do it again, and Lord willing, I'm able to get through it. And, you brothers and sisters that may be listening may be edified from this. Now, this is basically prophecy coming to pass, because what we're seeing is we're seeing, white America, they're suffering from the same policies that they put in place to hinder Jake. So you see, as who was I listening to? I think it was Elder Apostle Tahar who said this earlier today when I listened to a video of his. It was an elder from the video. I can't remember exactly one, but they said that, the elite let y'all Edomites into the foyer, the living room of their plush mansion, but you wasn't able to go any further than that. Okay. So you thought because you were in the plush part that you were actually part of the elite, and you're not. Okay. So you forward the affliction of Jake, and now, okay, you're feeling the hurt from the policies that you allowed to be passed or not be passed to stop Jake, whether it be a Negro, Latino, or Native American, from getting any type of benefit in America whatsoever. Okay. And now all those things are coming back to bite you in the ass. But that's not them just coming back to bite you in the ass. That's the Lord putting all these curses on you. Okay. So I'm going to start off with a quick scripture. I got, my blue letter pulled up, but I already got those set on precepts that I wanted to pull. All right. So this is Deuteronomy 30:7. And it reads, "And the Lord, thy power, will put all these curses upon thy enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecute thee." Okay. And who hates us and who persecutes us? That's the so-called white man. All right. And now we're seeing in his system, so-called white people failing, crying, like literally crying. And now they want to band together. Now they want to say, oh, let's come together and let's fight the system. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. We can't come together and fight the system because we're not the same. We're not together. Okay? You've benefited from this system for a very long time while Jake was oppressed. And now that the same system that you laid traps for have trapped your ass, now you want to say we need to stick together. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna grab another precept because the Lord is putting all these curses on these Edomites, man. And we're seeing it with and it's been happening, this has been happening. This just didn't start happening. It's been happening. Okay. Esau's women been turning against him. They've been putting him on child support and alimony and all that shit, just like they've been doing Jake. Okay. Esau's women. Slovakia. Esau's women have been taking their children and aborting them in mass quantities, just like the Jake women. Okay, so these curses have already been on Esau. But now, these Edomites are feeling the financial burden of it. The financial burden. And those things is what's causing Esau to crack. Okay, is that he's not making the money that he used to make. He's not able to provide like he used to. He doesn't have those advantages that he used to have. Okay, so let me go ahead and play some of this video. All right, and then Lord willing, we're gonna grab some more precepts and close out.
I don't know how any of you guys are going and going and going. I know you gotta be at the same level of mental health as me.
Now, hold up. Wait a minute now. Now, this just made me, you know what? I'm gonna play it some more, and then I got a precept that just came to mind, but, you know.
Me? Every day it's something new between the fucking news and the fucking stupid Biden and stupid Trump. And this country's fucked. Every day we're spending more and more money. None of us are getting ahead. The rich people are the ones that are fucking getting ahead. I'm tired of struggling. I've done everything I can. I'm trying to be a good man. I take care of my daughter. I take care of my wife. The best I can. I can't keep going. Every day it's something new. And then on top of that, as if you're not trying to spend money, you have to. Fucking everything's expensive. I own a painting company. I still can't fucking make it. I'm fucking trying, man. I can't look at my daughter and my wife and know I'm failing. I'm fucking Everybody wake up. It's time to stand up. It's time to be tired of this. It's our turn to fucking eat. I want to eat.
All right, so you just turned from a crying little bitch to a warrior, huh? Fucking Esau, man. He just sitting here crying. Now he turned into a warrior. Okay.
I want my family to eat. I want you guys to eat.
Oh. When did Esau want Jake to eat? Huh? When did Esau want Jake to eat? Okay. Give me 1 second, I can. So yeah, when did Esau say he want Jake to eat? And what he mean by eat, he mean, be taken care of. Not just eat food. Like, you got money to pay your bills. You got money to pay your car note, things of that nature. All right? That's what he mean by eat.
Stand up. Let's go. Stand up, man. Let's fucking eat. I'm tired. Let's help each other. I don't care what your political affiliation is.
You don't care what our political affiliation is, or what else?
I don't care what fucking color you are.
Oh, there it is. You don't care what color we are. Okay? Well, let's get a precept on that. I got a couple precepts I want to bring out on that. Okay. So I'm gonna go to the book of Hebrews, because this is what this reminded me of. This is Hebrews chapter 12, verse 17. And it says, "Lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. For ye knew that afterward, when he would have inherited the blessing, he was rejected, for he found no place of repentance, though he sought it carefully with tears." You see what he doing? Ah, I want to eat. Yeah, let's eat. Get the fuck out of here, man. You the enemy, man. Okay. Let's go to we'll come back to this Baruch, the third chapter. Let's go to Ecclesiasticus. We'll come back to this. 12. All right, this is Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. It says, "Never trust thine enemy." Now, this dude sounding like, oh, he sounding like, y'all, you on the team. You sounding like, hey, you ready to take action. But at the end of the day, once the system gets, when the system gets turned over, and if just hypothetically speaking, it was turned over, and you got rid of the oligarchy, the people that were in power for the better. It's just a matter of time before the Edomites that are joined onto you turn on you and put your ass back into slavery. Okay, so never trust that enemy. For like iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Though he humbled himself, look at that. That's this guy, right? Though he humbled himself, be and go crotching, yet take good heed and beware of him. And thou shalt be unto him as if thou hast wiped a looking glass. Okay. And if you know anything about looking glasses, is you got to constantly clean them because, the air, the moisture in the air always condensates on the lens, which makes you to where you have to wipe it before you look into it because it obscures the view. Okay. And it says, "And thou shalt know that his rust has not been altogether wiped away." Because if you know anything about iron, Salakia, I don't know why it does that shit. Okay, if you know anything, because the mouse is right here, why does it pop that up? I'm not even on it. As it says, as iron rusted, so of his weakness. So if you know anything about iron, so all you got to do is leave iron out in the air, and eventually it's going to rust. Basically, it's on this long. You got to do is leave Esau to his wicked devices long enough, or to himself to his devices long enough, and he's going to be evil again. He's going to do wickedness again. Okay, just a matter of time. You can never trust this nigga, man. So even though you see this man crying and it seems like he in the same position that you in, no, this man is a demon. Okay, this is the type of guy that will sit side by side you, and then when everything is all said and done, he'll look at you and put a bullet in your brain and take what belongs to you. Okay, that's what Esau would do.
If you are not eating and you're struggling, eat with me. Let's struggle together then. Let's
struggle together now. Forget slavery, forget Jim Crow, forget redlining, gentrification, forget all of the racism, forget just forget all the evil, the killing, the prison industrial complex. Just forget all that. Okay? And let's work together now. Now that they're suffering, now that they're feeling it. Now he wants to work together. Because they're not making that bag like they used to. But what y'all don't know is the Lord is revealing you all to the world. And the world hates y'all motherfuckers, man. Okay? Because y'all are wicked people.
Be a team.
So I just watched a video of a white woman literally crying about the conditions of the United States, how she has to work 60 hours and she's looking at other countries and they don't even have to work 40 hours, how they can take a train for like pennies on the dollar anywhere.
Hold up. Because, hey, ain't this what y'all did? This is what y'all did. Y'all did this to yourselves. Okay? All right, now, woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees. The Lord said, destruction unto you. Okay? Death unto you. That's what that word woe means. And right grievances which they have prescribed. So you prescribe these grievances that she's talking about right now on Jake. To turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, that the widow, like the right of the land. You got people paying for clean water that you polluted. Now, what kind of shit is that? You got people paying for clean land, for water that you polluted. You got people paying for taxes on property that they bought fair and square. And then you want to say to them, hey, if you don't pay it, we get to take your land and we get to take your property. You don't own none of this shit. None of this land was yours. Hey, as the elders always say, everywhere that Esau Edom stands, that isn't Mount Seir is stolen land. Period. Because that land was not given to you. Okay? So you took away the right of the poor of my people, just the right to live, the chief things of life. You're taking that away. Okay? We'll just check to see if it's still recording. All right? And it says that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And that's what they do. They prey on women and children, because these damn women are idiots. You know? Women are so fucking stupid in this world that they fall for any goddamn thing and they think they know every fucking thing and they stupid as hell. Okay? So when Esau comes with this dumbass shit to them, they fall for it hook, line, and sinker. That's why you have all these dumbass women out here, just dumb as hell. And you know, if the shoe fits, then you're gonna wear it. If you're offended, then I'm talking to you. If you're not offended, then keep it pushing. Okay? And just dig into the lesson. But yeah, stupid. You know? Eve, you the fucking Esau's sidekick. E. You know? But anyway, putting your children on fucking child support, kicking the family out the house, you know, all that shit was designed to destroy Jake. And that's why I brought out that Deuteronomy 30:7 in the beginning, to show that Yahweh Shem Yahushua is taking all of these unrighteous decrees that you put on Jake and he's throwing that shit back on you. Because Amalek don't give two shits about the lower level Edomites. You all were used to help build up his system. And now that his system is built, he don't need you no more. You can be a serf in this. You can be a slave in the system, a serf in the slave, a serf and or a slave, just like Jake. Okay, he gonna chip your ass too. Your currency gonna be turned digital, just like everybody else's. Okay, you thought that you was a part of the system, and now you finding out that you not. That you was just a pawn in it. Okay.
Where they want. Meanwhile, like our country's infrastructure is falling apart. How it feels like there's no support nets. It feels like all the safety nets are dissolving, and she doesn't understand why. And I both hate and love to remind these folks that the reason why the United States is the way it is because of y'all. A lot of you are the descendants of folks, or it might actually be some of the folks who were more invested in not sharing all of the programs, all of the initiatives that the United States was starting with marginalized people, specifically Black people. Y'all are some of the same folks who would have rather filled in the pools in your neighborhood than share them, shut down the schools and the libraries rather than share them, that you would rather vote against any forming of these safety nets or any protections for these safety nets rather than share them with marginalized people. Then you look up a generation or two or less later and wonder why you don't have these safety nets to protect you, because you were banking on your whiteness to keep you safe. And a lot of you learned pretty quickly after this election that you don't even have that to keep you safe. That unless your bank account has something like 7 digits in it, that the folks
And your money ain't even safe. That's where she's off at. Because these devils are coming after the money with this new digital system. Okay? So, yo, you ain't gonna be able to do nothing. Ain't gonna be no redress of government or protest or any of that shit. They're gonna shut that down when they put that chip into place. Okay?
that you were banking on to protect you won't. And that some of the safety nets that maybe your mama or your family had relied upon, like SNAP or Medicaid or Medicare or any of those other basic safety nets, are going to be eradicated by the very people that you voted for.
Exactly. Now, let's go back. Let's look at that one more time. It's Isaiah 10:1. Woe to them that decree unrighteous decrees. They're the ones that decree these unrighteous decrees, thinking that they were in their benefit, in their best interest. But these decrees were used to take away what wealth you had. You're thinking this shit was just going to be used on Jake, but once they were done with them, they turned to you. You, like she said, you thought your whiteness was going to save you, and it's not. So y'all white Americans, hey man, you pale males and you Edomite women out here, hey, get ready. Y'all about to have y'all comeuppance. Y'all thought that y'all was going to be able to escape all this stuff? No. The thing is that the scriptures talk about how judgment must begin with the house of Israel. So Jake always get judged first before everybody else, because Jake's supposed to know better. Okay? So Jake is doing the very thing that he shouldn't. So of course he's getting the worst of it, but don't think that you're exempt of it, because you all, let me see. One and 15, it says, very sore displeased with the heathen that is at ease. For I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. You helped forward the affliction. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, I will return to Jerusalem with mercies. My house shall be built in it, saith the Lord of hosts, and the line shall be stretched forth from Jerusalem. Okay? So you all forwarded the affliction on Jake, made things a lot worse than what they needed to be, and you still do it to this very day. Okay?
May I suggest, instead of crying, you strap up, the whole bootstrap thing that y'all be telling my people about? Remember that you get what you pay for. For everybody else who's not invested in crying, maybe some suggested reading. Some of Us by Heather McGhee. It talks about how equality is not a zero-sum game. This book has torn me up several times that I've read it, but it is essential reading. So for the next few years.
Happening today doesn't feel like there are things that can't be done because.
All right, let's go here.
Hobbies, etc. Fail miserably, feel awful, and then repeat.
I don't understand why you have to pay.
Have energy for stuff like your kids, chores, hobbies, etc. Fail miserably, feel awful, and then repeat.
I don't understand why you have to pay to live on a planet you were born on.
I ask myself that question every.
Yeah, that's because y'all are in power. That's why you have to pay. All right, so let's read about that real quick, because remember I told y'all they're subject to curses. Remember when I told you? I said the Lord already putting these curses on these devils. He already been doing it. Okay? Here it is. This is Baruch, Baruch 3:8. It says, "Behold, we are yet in this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us for the reproach and a curse, and to be subject to payments, according to all the iniquities of our fathers, which departed from the Lord our power." You see that? So just as Jake was subject to payments, so are you subject to payments now. Okay? And y'all been subject to payments for a minute. Y'all been paying car notes and insurance, and y'all been paying child support and all of these different things. But at the same time, you had the financial backing to be able to afford these things. But now that the economy and the president and all of these different things are shaking things up, you no longer have that financial backing to pay for these things as you once did. Okay? So now you're feeling the crunch on it. But yeah, these curses are coming on you too. They're already happening. All right? So y'all are subject to payments. This is why you have to live on a pay for land and shit like that on the earth that you were born in, because you have been cursed by the Heavenly Father. Okay? These curses are being put upon you.
Single day. Why do we have to pay to live on Earth? I mean, humans really saw views like this right here and said, let's come up with cities where we build apartments one on top of another. We live like a can of sardines. You're gonna live paycheck to paycheck. Let's invent a thing called 30-year mortgages. I mean, doesn't make much sense. I'm down here in South America asking myself that question. I am right now thinking of how to build my house stone by stone. I want to build a stone house. And if necessary, have solar, or not if necessary, if possible, have solar panels, have a watering cistern. I feel like this kind of stuff stick around.
The cost of living in this country is currently, it's not going
Now, this motherfucker right here, this fucking devil.
to be, it is currently unsustainable. And there are people that they know this, but then they'll still look at somebody else that's struggling and then tell them they're not doing good enough. I want you to imagine somebody that makes $75,000 a year. That's a pretty high up wage in terms of like top earners in this country, $75,000 a year. And we're going to go through some things here. This is a person with no debt outside of a car. And please don't hit me with the, you can go buy a car for, shut up. You can't. Shut up. Stop saying ridiculous things. An entry-level decent car is $30,000. So this person who puts $200 a month into insurance and they pay 5% into their 401k, because shut up, people should be able to put money into their retirement. Because if you're not doing it now, you're never going to get to start doing it later. So after those two things come out of their paycheck and their taxes are paid, they bring home $53,850 a year from a $75,000 paycheck. Average rent in my state for a one-bedroom apartment, because an adult should be able to live by themselves, $1,700. That car payment at 6% for an entry-level, very reasonable sedan, nothing fancy, the car payment's $579 a month. Car insurance, $240 or so a month for a lot of vehicles in this day and age. You're a young person, you've got a nice job, but the insurance company still want to screw you over. Food. You only cook at home. You never, ever go out. You only cook at home and you only eat decent quality food, because a human being should be allowed to eat decent quality food. You pay $179 a month for that. You spend $250.
What did he say that? He said a human being should be able to eat decent quality food. Oh, okay. Well, let's take a look at that. Let's go to Ezekiel 4. And this is Ezekiel 4 and 12. And it says 4 and 13. And it says, "And the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I've driven them." So you've taken and created something called food deserts. And let's look that up real quick. Let's see what a food desert is. Okay. All right, let's see what it says. A food desert is a geographical area where residents have limited or no access to affordable, healthy options such as fresh fruits and veggies. These areas typically lack supermarkets, large grocery stores, or other sources of nutritional food. Key characteristics of food deserts: limited access to healthy food options. Supermarkets and large grocery stores typically offer a wide selection of food, produce, and healthy products at affordable prices. And was it sacred or non-existent? Let's see what this word means. Scarce. I'm sorry. Scarce or no? They are scarce and non-existent. I am so sorry. I must be tired. But they are scarce and non-existent. It says, let's skip down to here because this is what I wanted. Low income population. Food deserts are often located in areas with high poverty rates and lower medium family incomes. What neighborhoods do you think are primarily low family incomes in America? What areas are those? Those are primarily Jake neighborhoods, the so-called black neighborhoods, but also Negroes and Latinos and Native Americans as well. Okay. You have a lot of Latinos who have access to their own supermarkets, like you have supermercados and stuff like that over the country. And they generally have access to things, but so-called black people in this country, Jakes, they don't have access to that shit. They don't own grocery stores and things of that nature. So they're always subject to food deserts. So when you sit there and say that a human being should have access to high quality food, you're saying that white people should have access to high quality food, because for the longest of time, Jake has been in food deserts, right? Okay. So now that we got that out the way, because, like you said, shut up. A human being should have access to high quality food. Well, there you go. You didn't give Jake access to high quality food. So now that y'all people are getting your command, it don't matter if you didn't have anything to do with it. You benefited from the shit. Okay. You didn't say nothing about it when you knew about it. Okay.
$50 a month in gas. You wear and tear on your car, $100 a month. $80 for your phone, $80 for your internet, $175 a month for your electricity, $70 for your water, $20 for your cash. You make $75,000 a year, and outside of a car payment, you have zero debt. Do you know how much money you have left over annually at a $75,000 wage? You do nothing. You don't own a Netflix. You don't go out on a date. You don't pay to go to a park. You don't go watch a movie. You do nothing. If you can't find it on the internet for free, you don't get to do it. If you can't cook it at home for your $800, you don't get to do it. You have $3,700 left over annually. That's like $320 a month. And there's going to be, well, that's $300. Shut up. Shut your stupid, contrarian, edgelord mouth. That's not a doctor bill, because God knows just because we have insurance doesn't mean that we don't still pay far out the ass when we go to the doctors. People like to be
Did you hear how these people sound? You see how ridiculous these damn white people are? Because this is the same exact thing Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans have been going through in this country, especially the so-called black man, right? Been going through this type of shit that he's talking about right now. But yet when we were going through it, it was pull yourself up by your bootstraps and make it happen. But now that you're going through it, is shut up, you know? You see, these people are a bunch of fucking hypocrites, man. And this is exactly why they're going to get their comeuppance in a big way. The Lord is tired of these people, and he's already working. It's just that the frequency of it is being turned up. That's it. They're getting to the point to where the level of fire is being turned up higher. So they feel it more. Before they didn't feel it because they were already subject to payments. Their women was already putting on child support and alimony. That shit was already happening, right? But they still, like I said earlier, a lot of them had the financial backing to be able to support themselves and be able to do those things they want to do. And to a certain degree, a lot of them still do. Okay? But as this thing tightens up and the US dollar loses its power, a lot of Edomites are about to suffer in a very big way. And we're just going to see what's going to happen as these things come to pass. Because we know the 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter is about to go down. Because these are the type of people that would definitely rebel against their government because they're uncomfortable. You see in the very first one, video, I can't afford this. I want to provide for my daughter. I want to provide for my wife and my children. I want to eat. You want to eat with me? You see that? That's how they do. And they're trying to rally people together off from policies that their people created. Y'all people created this circumstance. The pale male created this situation that America's in, right? And now that it's not going in the direction that y'all thought it was going to go into, now, hey, Hey man, drink that cup. You filled up the cup. Drink it. You the one who started all this stuff. Drink it. You know? Pull yourself up by your bootstraps, Esau.
Entertained. They want to date. They want to. There's those of you out there that will tell somebody living like this on $75,000 a year before taxes that they are not doing what they're supposed to do, that they should get a second job, that they should get a side hustle, that they should get a better job. And the fact that you would look at somebody with no debt other than a car and say something like this to them means objectively you're a moron and you live in a fantasy world.
Now they're morons and they live in the fantasy world. But beforehand, when Jake was going through this stuff, it's like, hey man, you doing something wrong. But now that this shit is happening to y'all, I can't stress this enough. These are the things that these people say. You know? And they're the ones who created the circumstances. They're the ones who created this shit. Jake ain't got no power. Jake don't dictate policy. Okay, all of these bills and shit like that are voted on, Jake don't write none of them. He may vote on some of them, but he don't write them. And even no matter which one he vote for, it's never in his interest. All right?
This is unsustainable.
Hi guys, I'm really stressed today. I just went to a grocery store, bought 10 items, and it was $80 freaking already. I literally have $10 left in my account. The fuck? So a little backstory. I got laid off from my job a month ago, and I've been applying for.
I don't think I'm above.
All right, so you get the point. All right, we're not gonna go through any more of these videos. You get the point. Okay, so we're just gonna read a couple more precepts, and then we're gonna go ahead and close out. Salakia. I think it's not here. CQ. Yes, this is what I wanted right here. All right. This is Proverbs. Proverbs 26:24. It said, "He that hateth dismembereth with his lips, and layeth up deceit with him." And that's these devils. They spout lies. They tell you things that aren't true to have you fall for them. It says, "When he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations in his heart." Okay, this is what I was telling you earlier. This dude right here, you know, he's speaking all of these different nice things and all this. Let's eat together. But really, he's thinking abominable things in his heart when he's in a position to where he can usurp you. Okay, that's just the nature of these devils. All right. It says, "Whose hatred is covered with deceit." You know, just like Kill Gates, how he goes into these other countries and say that, "I love you guys. I'm here to help you. You know, just take this shot and put it in your arm," and then watch their population become decimated. Right? And this is also through his policies. When he's about to pass a bill or he needs your support on something, he'll sit there and lie just so you can get his support. But then when it all comes down to it, right? When it's time for everything for him to act on what he said, right? It's the complete opposite of what he promised. It says, "His wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation." And that's exactly what's happening with Esau. Edom's wickedness is being shown before the whole entire world. In this particular instance, the congregation is the world, the earth. Everybody on the earth is being brought to see the true nature of this damn devil. Okay? They're being brought to see it. Okay? Because this devil is he's a fucking damn devil and a deceiver, a liar. And now the whole world, and that's something that the Lord does. Before he's about to take a people out or destroy a people, he reveals you. He shows you their crimes out in the open. So everybody's seen what these devils are doing out in the open. So do you think their history is being exposed out in the open? So do you think that their destruction is not near? Of course it is. It's right around the corner. All right. And this is the point that I wanted to get. It says, "Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein." Did not Esau Edom dig these pits so Jake can fall in, and now his people is falling in? And when I say pits, it's his policies that he put in place to hinder Jake from any type of success, any type of generational wealth or land ownership? Didn't he do that? Right? And those same policies that he put in place are now affecting his people. All right? And it says, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him. You know, it's a guy down at the bottom of a hill, and you on the other side of the hill rolling up the stone to take this guy out. Just you trying to flatten his ass with a damn stone. And you roll the stone up to the top of the hill with the intention of killing this guy. And then you push it up to the top, thinking that it was flush and that it was about to roll down the other side. But it didn't roll down the other side. As you was walking down the hill, the big ass boulder changed directions because it wasn't flush. You thought it was flush, and it turned around and rolled backward on your ass. And before you know it, it smushes you on the way down. And that's exactly what's happening. All of these policies that Esau had passed, okay, to hinder Jake are now affecting him and his people. It says, a lying tongue hateth those that are afflicted by it. So these people that are in office that are passing all of this legislation, lying to his fellow Edomites about how these things are going to benefit them, right? Like Mawa, Make America White Again. Well, you know, Make America Great Again, but, you know, Elder Malcolm calls him Mawa, which I agree, Make America White Again, right? But then the same policies that he's using to allegedly make America white again, those policies are only for his rich counterparts, for the ones of the Ish persuasion. Okay, those are the ones that are making money, not you lower level Edomites, because you all are considered goyim, just like Jake. Okay, and they don't give two shits about you. They hate you too. That's why they tell you one thing and do another. And it says, a flattering mouth worketh ruin. Because all y'all people out there that sit there and talk about how good this is, good that person is, and good and behind the back, you plotting on their demise. Or that person thinking that they're better than what they are, like a goddamn fat bitch, you know, wearing a bodysuit that makes her look just like a complete idiot. And everywhere she goes, everyone sees her and says, man, she looks like a goddamn clown. But her best friend tell her, girl, slay. Girl, you look good. Girl, this. But her fat ass looks like a goddamn clown. She looks like an idiot, right? And she goes out, she's just an embarrassment. And that happens all of the time. Those flattering words brought your dumb ass to ruin. You don't even realize, you know, because you don't fell into the manipulation that you don't even understand that this person is taking advantage and lying to your ass. And that's exactly what Esau does. I was just using that as an example. All right. So let's close up with this. Got a couple more precepts. So this is Ezekiel 35:1. It says, moreover, the word of the Lord came to me saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesied against it. Now, Mount Seir is a people before it's a place, and these are the location, the indigenous people of Mount Seir is the Edomites, Esau, Edom, okay, which is the so-called white man. And it says, and say unto it, thus saith the Lord, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. Okay. And I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had come to an end. Okay, so hey, when the children of Israel, you know, when you forward the affliction, man, you made things worse than what they had to be. And it says, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Right? Yeah, Jim Crow, all this death and war and all that shit. I was just watching the video about the Federal Reserve Act, and how Federal Reserve Act was passed in 1913 and World War One was started in 1914. You see that? So that's all these dudes do is create war. War. They're just bloodshedders. That's all they are. Okay? And it says that I will make Mount Seir most desolate and cut off from it him that passeth out and him that returneth. Okay? So there's not going to be any Americas. There's not going to be any European Union. There's not going to be any Greeks, any so-called Edomite Greeks or Swiss or none of that shit. All of them going to be wiped out. All right? Because they're the bloody man of the earth. And it says, and I will fill his hills and his mountains with his slain men and I will fill his mountains with slain men, and thy hills and thy valleys and all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. And that's a twofold. That means their governments, their local municipalities, all the way up to the executive branches of all of these the parliament, all of their governments are going to fall, right, through these wars. All right. In addition to that, all of these bodies are going to be laid up in the valley of Jehoshaphat, Yahweh. Okay. And all of these Edomites and other nations are going to be slain. Okay, their bodies are going to be dead bodies just laid out by the millions. It's going to be a lot of death. Okay. And verse 9, and it says, and I will make thee perpetual desolations. Perpetual, that means that you're never going to come back out of this shit. And it says, and thy city shall not return, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Okay, so when the Lord is done with y'all damn Edomites, ain't nothing gonna return, ain't nothing gonna be left. It's gonna be completely wiped out. Okay, hey, as it says in Malachi, I think it's the first. Let me just go to it where it says, they shall build, and I will throw down. Yeah. Here it is. I'm gonna just read it since we're here. It says, this is Malachi 1:1. It says, the burden of the word of the Lord to Israel by Malachi. I have loved you, saith the Lord. Yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother, saith the Lord? Yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and lay his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Wherein Edom has said, we are impoverished, we will return and build the desolate places. And they have. Didn't Esau, when the Grecian Empire fell, they built Rome. When the Roman Empire fell, they built Britain. When the Britain Empire fell, what did they do? They built America. Okay? So yes, they've been rebuilding. And what has the Lord been doing? He has been throwing their shit down. All right? And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever. Okay? So the Lord said that he has hatred, and he's going to destroy these people forever. No, you can leave it on. All right. So, yeah, one more precept. Yes. This is James 2:13. It says, for he shall have judgment without mercy, that have showed no mercy, and mercy rejoices against judgment. And who has showed no mercy? Esau, Edom. He continues to do the same even higher levels of wickedness now than he has ever done, right? So he has shown no mercy to Jake, and for that matter, no mercy to any of the other nations either, right? So guess what? He's not going to be shown any mercy, and mercy rejoices against judgment. Okay. You know how, you know how when you was a kid, you do something wrong and you know your parent is about to whoop your ass. right? You're like, oh man, I know I'm about to get my ass whooped. And you come home and your parents give you a talking to instead of an ass whoop. And you say, oh my goodness, I'm so glad that they didn't beat my ass. Well, you're rejoicing against judgment, man. You were about to get judged, but your parents had mercy on you. All right. And now you rejoiced against the judgment that you were about to get. Like, oh my, thank you. All right. And that's exactly what the Israelites are going to get. They're going to they're going to rejoice because they're going to the elect. Let me clear that up. The elect are going to receive mercy from the judgment that's going to come. But Esau, you ain't going to be shown no mercy. Okay? So you can sit here and cry all you want. But hey, at the end of the day, the Lord hates you and the Lord is going to destroy you all. All right? So with that, I pray this is an edifying lesson. I'm ended up again. All praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakar Kodesh. And to the next time, Mike, I say shalom.